AJ Jen, AJ Jen, AJ Jen. We are less than a week away from Halloween Horror Nights 32 at Universal Orlando, just mind you, is what we're focusing on today. And we are absolutely jazzed.
Pumped.
So excited. We're about to drive down there. It's gonna be night one. We're gonna, I wanted to say ride all the rides, but we're gonna go through all the houses, eat all the food, walk through all the scare zones.
And experience the fear together.
Never go alone.
Never go alone.
Scream squad. Is it a squad if it's two people?
Can be. Why not? If you want to join our squad, let us know.
Yeah, actually, for realsies, like there's gonna be at least a night coming up where we're splitting up during the night. So if anyone wants to go through houses with me, let me know, because I don't want to wait in line alone. So today, we're
gonna hype it up.
we're gonna talk about things.
We're gonna talk about what we're excited for, whether it's houses, scare zones, foods, stay and screams, you name it. We'll probably hype it up because
We're excited.
we're excited.
We want to get you excited. And like we said, we are less than a week away. HHN season is about to start. We have a full September, October, and a couple days in November of HHN. So let's talk about what you can expect, what we're excited for, and what
Houses.
we are not as excited for at times. So, like Ben said,
Let's start with houses.
all right, Benjamin, where do you want to kick it off?
What house are you most excited for?
You started with a really tough question.
Yeah.
There's so many. Does it matter between original property,
Nope.
original houses, or
Doesn't matter at all.
What's your pick?
I'm still excited for the Universal Monsters Unmasked. I think nobody does classic monsters like Universal. I am super excited to see how they pull off Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh, I'm more excited to see how they pull off the Invisible Man.
Yeah, that'll be
Like,
interesting. Just a bunch of eyes.
hey, look, he's over there.
No, he's
There's
not.
nothing.
He's all over.
The Invisible Man is everywhere.
But I think like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, they'll do like they did the Dracula like transformation in the Monsters Collide house last year. So
Oh my gosh.
very interested to see how they pull
Mr.
it
Hyde
off.
is going to absolutely terrify me, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're most excited about Monsters. What is it? Monsters in Paris is how
Monsters Unmasked. But it's going to
I
be
know
in Paris.
a song in Paris that I'm singing in my
No,
head
don't say
right
that.
now.
But like that's the other part that I'm super excited for is like the catacombs aspect, going into the opera house.
Phantom
like,
of the Opera.
I think going through that catacombs. Imagine how many skulls are going to be in the catacombs.
It's going to be like going through
Yeah.
the Kong queue.
It's going to be awesome.
So not that we need to harp on the Monsters house all this, but of the monsters in it, Mr. Hyde, Invisible Man, The Hunchback,
Yep.
and Phantom of the Opera, which one do you think will be the most frightening? I know my pick.
Probably Phantom, honestly.
Really?
I think Phantom's going to be really creepy.
He's got to take the thing off.
He's got
for
to
you
take the mask
really
off, which is going to be kind of a sight to behold, I think.
Hunchback could be pretty good too. Kind of reminds me of how the werewolf from last year is like all hunched over and everything. I think Mr. Hyde's the one that's going to get me the most.
Yeah. I am excited to see what the overall story is. They haven't really released it on the Discover Universal podcast.
Unless
Maybe-
by the time you're watching this.
But I'm excited to see how that plays out, sort of like the Monsters Collide house last year.
That's fair. The house I'm most excited for is Dr. Oddfellows. I think it's going to give us an opportunity to see something of Jack, not to mention all of the oddities and creatures and thrills at this carnival that Dr. Oddfellows put together that I can only imagine would be just as scary as
Yep.
Jack.
Yep.
Like, I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be gory.
I think it's going to be one that the smells are going to get you, or that's going to be a prevalent theme throughout that house is smells, because you're going to have the carnival with hay and blood.
Elephant poop.
Yeah, like. But in reality, like you might have something along the lines of like, smells like blood, smells like hay, smells like
I hope it
fecal
doesn't smell
matter.
like
Like
hay is my nightmare, guys. I am allergic to it, so like, that's worse than anything you can throw at me.
I think that house is going to be amazing. Plus all the Oddfellow theming throughout the entire event. it's just going to add to the excitement.
Another 2 big houses that people have been so excited for are both Stranger Things 4 and The Last of Us.
The ultimate debate. Or not really ultimate, but...
Which one are you more excited about?
I'm probably more excited for The Last of Us. Simply because I think it's going to be more of an all-encompassing sort of sensory experience. Like, there's going to be jump scares with the clickers and the people in it and sort of all like the transformations of the clickers, but then you're also going to have that idea of like the fungus is growing probably throughout the house, and so it's going to be like it's probably going to get darker, smellier, like more wet feeling of like it's going to be, I think, a more immersive house than The Last of Us, which is probably going to more immersive than Stranger Things, which is,
I think Stranger Things will be extremely immersive.
Would be awesome.
But I can already tell you, just thinking about how they can make The Last of Us house feel so disgusting.
Icky.
I already know I am feeling slightly anxious thinking about going into that house versus I think Stranger Things, I think it will be so cool. I think Universal and season 4 with Vecna and the clocks and all of these different things, it will be done so well.
Yep.
But as far as like something that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up, The Last of Us already is starting to get me. Just thinking about how disgusting and like gross it's going to be in a good way. I'm excited to compare the two on that first night, specifically to be like, you know, the Stranger Things we've seen online clearly, and you guys can let us know if you disagree with us, but clearly on our Instagram, the people that follow us there love Stranger Things and are the most excited about Stranger Things 4. That said, I think these houses can go head to head. I think it will be very cool to see which house we think's better, which keep an eye out shortly after night 1 because we will be posting a video sharing our experience of that first night of HHN and telling you about what we thought of each house. Now we won't be able to record, but we will tell you what we think of each house so you know what to look forward to.
I think the discussion about Stranger Things is a good one to have, particularly when we talk about like what stay in Scream that we probably will recommend people to go to. So
that's a really good point.
We're going to assume that the stay and Scream areas are going to be very similar to last year. And the map will not change based off what's been announced. But
I think the map's pretty set.
I think the map's pretty set. So like if you're a diehard Stranger Things like fan, you are probably going to be in the New York stay and Scream area just so that you can knock out Stranger Things first thing, particularly night 1, because we think night 1 that Stranger Things house is going to be swamped the entire night.
It's going to be busy all season long, guys.
Yeah. So getting to that New York stay and Scream area or making it probably your priority house of the night. And yeah, like that might mean going through while it's still light out, but if you want a shorter
wait. But then
wait,
you can do it. You can get it done. If you have Express Pass, you haven't used it yet. You just go right in. And then if you absolutely loved it, come back and use that Express Pass again later. I highly suggest anybody going to HHN to get Express Pass, at least for a night, so you can really get through these houses and see all of them.
With as many strong originals and as many strong IPs, like this year is going to be absolutely crazy. So if you're going for one night and you want to try and get it all done, highly recommend Express Pass because we think the event is going to be exceptionally busy throughout the entire season.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the other houses that aren't as heavily hyped, but something I think to look forward to. One that I am very excited about is Dueling Dragons.
Okay.
Particularly because the house is going to have alternate endings depending on what decision you make. I think that is really cool. I'm sure it'll be something of like red, blue, you know, which path do you want to take, and then at the end, like one of them has a different winner depending on the night. But I'm excited for that. I think the theming could be done very well. And just in general, like I think it's like a really cool ode. What's it?
Homage.
Just highlighting Dueling Dragons from back in the day.
The one house that I'm very interested to see how it plays out is the Chucky house. And the story behind it is very unique and very original, how Chucky comes and visits the Halloween Horror Nights house. He doesn't like how little killing there was, so
Right.
he's gonna go and have his ultimate kill, and I'll probably kill a bunch of people in the house, and
The story that they created for the Chucky house,
very unique.
it honestly made me more interested in going through the house than what I had assumed the story was going to be. Is just like, oh, here's Chucky from the series on HBO, blah blah blah. Like, it's on HBO, right? Like, we've been watching it. Is that the station?
Peacock?
Peacock?
I don't know. On TV.
We've been watching Chucky, but I just thought it was going to be about the series. And now how they were like, hey, we're going to switch this up, and Chucky is not happy, I was like, oh, that's a way to flip the script. And so I think that house actually has perked my interest more. I'm not a huge Chucky fan, but maybe that house is going to be a bit better than I expected.
Creative take, for sure.
Any other houses that have caught your eye that you're like, ooh, I'm pretty jazzed about this? Or as far as that goes,
I think the other ones, we're going to have to kind of play by ear. Like,
original houses are pretty hard to suss out, like,
yeah.
because they could be spectacular. They could also be like, okay, that's all right.
Yeah, they're
like,
okay houses. But
So, and we've heard the stories. We've listened to the Discover Universal podcast, which is fantastic. If you haven't gone over there, jump on Spotify or where other podcasts are listed, because they're very cool. You can go and listen to the backstory for Blood Moon Dark Offering. I suspect they will be launching backstories for all of these houses. But
at least the originals, yeah.
At least the originals, yeah. And so you can listen to why Dr. Oddfellow is so much of the story in these scare zones, which we'll talk about here. But it just really sets the stage and gets you that much more excited for HHN.
Speaking of scare zones,
I think it's going to be so good.
what scare zone are you most excited for?
Ooh. I think the one that I personally, I'm going to say 2. No, 3. I don't know. The one I'm most excited for is probably the very first one when you come in, the Carnival of Oddities. I think that it's gonna be kind of creepy, kind of weird. Makes you wonder, like, why is that box rattling or something like that? I don't know. Like, I think it's gonna be pretty darn good. I'm a little disappointed. It seems like it's gonna be a smaller area than your first scare zone typically, but I'm happy that it is a scare zone, and I'm excited to see what that opening ceremonies looks like and share that with people.
That'd be interesting.
I also look forward to the Vamp 69 scare zone a whole lot more now. Like, when I just thought it was like, ooh, vampires and music and but weaving that in with Dr. Oddfellow's story makes me go, I like this better. Like,
yeah, I'd agree with
I like
that.
this quite a bit better. And then finally, the Jungle Scare Zone. I think that one is going to be terrifying from the idea that
giant spiders.
Yes, there are very large spiders in there, in the trees. If it was just the jungle ahead of time, then I wasn't gonna be, but I saw that on some update videos recently, and I was like, what about you?
I don't think I can pick any one that I'm like, I'm gonna love this one, or I'm like super excited for. For me, I'm excited for how they are all intertwined.
It's gonna be so good.
And so, like, you're moving through the timeline of like Dr. Oddfellow and his quest for immortality. So they're like very segmented parts of time, and so like that's the part that I'm interested in, is like, how do they all fit together?
Finding Dr. Oddfellow
And finding
in each scare zone.
finding Dr. Oddfellow in each scare zone, or like in his symbol or something along those lines. If I had to pick one, I'm probably gonna pick Jungle.
Yeah.
I think the idea, like we talked about even in our hype videos or our spec videos, was like the fact that it's in Central Park and you have trees and you have overhead cover.
Plays so well.
It just plays so much better to like you just feeling like you're in the jungle, even though you're on a road. But
is it like Shipyard? Yeah, Siren Shipyard.
Siren Shipyard.
Siren. That one could also be really, really good, because like it's all of these oddities and creatures like that he's been collecting over the time, and I can only imagine how like weird and gross. Also, they're connected to the Dark Zodiac piece, so I don't think I was this excited for Scare Zones last year.
Right.
But this idea that they are all interconnected intrigues me so much that I think it'll be very cool that they are cohesive in that way.
Yeah, it almost forces you to each Scare Zone to be like,
let me see the story.
Yeah, let me see the story versus like having an individual story at each one.
Do you like Scare Zones or houses more?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Right? They have a very different vibe depending on
100%.
which one you're looking at. But
if I had to pick one that I'm least excited for, I'm definitely still probably least excited for the Vamp 69.
That's fair.
But
I expect that one to be the least creepy of all of them.
It's gonna be really similar to like the Sweets, the Mr. Sweets one last year, where it's still scary, but it'll
be a little bit more lighthearted
Major
comparatively.
Sweets.
Yeah.
Major Sweets.
Speaking of that area, something that we don't know as of filming this today is much about the upcoming tribute store.
It's true.
So while filming this, like we haven't seen a facade yet. We know, or at least we think we know, that the tribute store is going to be over in the New York section by the Vamp 69 area.
Going to be a New York comic book store.
Supposedly. But I'm very excited to see what comes for this tribute store. We have seen some of the merch recently that's been dropped for HHN. Like
Little Boo's coming back.
Yep, they have a Little Boo pillow, some shirts, some like Little Boo. You can't get rid of Little Boo anymore. Like I think Little Boo might just be his own like icon forever as well. I think there is it looks like it could be a shirt, but it's Dr. Oddfellow's Traveling Oddities, and if that is a shirt,
that'd be cool.
One of us are buying it. I think that this tribute store is going to be so good. Clearly, Dr. Oddfellow is basically the icon this year. Ooh, the Monsters shirt's pretty cool.
The thing that we will say about the tribute store, attempt to do it during the day if you can.
Or both, but
I would say prioritize it. If you have daytime admission, go to the tribute store during the day, because like you just don't want to waste precious time going through the tribute store during Halloween Horror Nights.
Unless you're going to HHN multiple nights and you've had a chance to get through those houses already, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me to go through the tribute store when you can go through it during the daytime and use up time that you could be doing other HHN themed stuff.
Like eating food.
Or playing with the Death Eaters.
Yep.
Speaking of that, let's talk about the food that you're most excited for, Ben. You've seen some of it.
I've seen some of it. I will duly admit that since being gone, I haven't quite dove into the food quite as much.
He doesn't get nearly as excited for the food as I do.
No, but I think there are some good like references to the IPs that are coming, like the Fedra eating mushrooms.
There's a ravioli, but on top of it,
so I think that one's really cool.
Rations, if you will.
Yeah, the Fedra rations.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. And then the surferboard pizza, like from Stranger Things, is super cool. And then of course Universal will come out with some originals that, like the burger.
The Bludder
burger. That is pretty cool looking, at least.
I'm not a big poutine fan. That has been made available. It's called Bloody Campground Poutine. I think it's probably going to be good, but it's just not my jam. One of them that I am excited for, the Fortune Teller Milkshake at Tucson. Let me tell you what's in it. It says vanilla ice cream base topped with apple pie, dulce de leche, cinnamon, bat sprinkles, which are adorable, candy crystals, whipped topping, and a chocolate tarot card. It looks
cool.
Really good. Like, I think this one looks like it'll be tastier than the Tucson milkshake from last year that had the cauldron on top and like the gummy candies and stuff. Like this one, we're gonna have to go get that one.
Do milkshakes count as a nightcap?
I was thinking we kick off our night with it, honestly. Start the night strong. You gotta get energy for going through the houses.
We'll still wait, because I'm excited for the communal like love of the pizza fries. We'll see if the s'more fries comes back.
I've never had a twisted tater.
Yeah.
First off, we're going to get one this
Yeah.
year. Second, which Twisted Tater should I get? I lean towards the original, but then I know that there's other flavor options. And so if one of them stands out to you guys, please don't say the spicy Flamin' Hot Cheetos
Ghost
option.
chili one.
But if there's one that you think I should try, let us know, because we are also going to go through and have some fun HHN foods while we're there and let you all know what we think of them. I think I'm more hyped about the food this year than last year.
Yep.
There's some really good, well-themed treats, and so far what we've heard is some of them taste pretty darn
Yeah.
good. We've talked about houses.
Yeah.
We've talked about scare zones. Nightmare fuel. It's gonna be there.
It's gonna be there. It's probably gonna be really similar to the past couple of years.
Don't talk it down.
I'm not talking it down. I'm just saying I don't think there's gonna be a ton that changes, but
There's
it's gonna be a lot of,
dancing.
There's gonna be dancing.
There's gonna be fire.
And leather.
There's gonna be leather.
Yeah.
They dance.
They dance.
Real nice. So excited about that.
Death Eater's coming to Diagon.
I will be playing with the Death Eaters. I will be getting the Dark Mark.
It'll be one of those things that like I think it'll be good for like crowd management. as well.
It'll help spread.
It'll help
people
spread
out.
people out because
It will
like
be
we said, this is gonna be
interesting
busy. It'll be
if they're
interesting.
constantly going,
Yeah,
or if it's more
a
like
show.
every so often they come through and do a show, because that's a lot of work all night long. But I mean, you know,
I just want to see him in Nocturne Alley. I'm hyped for that.
I don't think they'll be in Nocturne. I don't know. We've seen some stuff where it's set up where
Why
like
wouldn't
maybe
you be? They have to be in Nocturne Alley. That'd be so cool.
there's roam all the way
Yeah.
around it. I don't know.
Like I know there's like certain areas that are like already dedicated to like having scares and fog and like interactiveness with the Death Eaters. But, like, put them in Nocturne Alley. Like it's already dark. They're already creepy.
Just have like one in there that's crazy like Bellatrix.
Yeah, like that'd be dope.
She'd be frightening.
Yeah,
I'm pumped.
I'm pumped.
It's gonna be good.
Less than a week.
Less than a week, just a couple days, honestly. A couple days away. If you're going to HHN, specifically in the first week, let us know.
Let us know.
We'd be happy to say hey,
Yeah.
maybe go through a house together, and tell us, you know, what are you most looking forward to for Halloween Horror Nights 32?
Tell us
Because
how long you're gonna wait for Stranger Things.
yeah, like what's a reasonable wait time for that house in particular?
knows?
I have an idea in my mind, but I don't know if it's reasonable. So
If you got anything out of this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you feel like supporting the channel further, feel free to hit up our Patreon. Thanks for watching.
bye.